Hi, I'm Griffin McElroy from Polygon.com, and today at the Nintendo booth, 6 different people accused me of cosplaying as Ness from Earthbound. Today I got a chance to check out Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which is the maybe strangest combination of, well, words, but also genres that I've seen at any game show in a very, very long time. It was debuted during Ubisoft's press conference, where Shigeru Miyamoto came out to sort of show off what they were going for with the game, or what Ubisoft, I should say, was going for. I can break it down in a really easy way. It's XCOM, but with Marios in it, and also Rabbids. What I got to play, I kind of came off of it pretty surprised at how deep the experience was. In true XCOM fashion, it is a turn-based strategy game where you will control your units, which is a mix of Mushroom Kingdom characters like Mario and Luigi and Princess Peach, with their sort of weird Rabbids counterparts like Rabbid Luigi and Rabbid Peach. And on your turn, you'll be able to move and get your team in position. You can take cover behind bricks, or half cover behind half bricks, I guess, and then attack enemies once you have sort of a good vantage point on them. All like very XCOM-esque stuff. Eventually, your characters will unlock different special abilities that you can use. Mario has an ability called Hero Sight, which is essentially XCOM's Overwatch, where you can post up behind a wall and then set it so that the next time an enemy moves in front of you, you will blast them on their turn. All of it is like, it's really familiar stuff, right? I'm not describing anything that wasn't in XCOM, but there is a lot of sort of interesting Mario-ish stuff that they're doing. I think the biggest standout for me are the different status effects that are in the game, all of which are pretty goofy. One that was showed off during the press conference that had like a major impact in pretty much every match I played was the burn mechanic, where if you shot a burn block with an enemy behind it, they would then be set on fire, which doesn't really do any damage to them, but it makes them run around frantically and adds this huge element of randomness to the map. Usually they would expose themselves. Sometimes they'd expose themselves and run right up to you, which if you can do that first action on your turn, everybody else on your team is going to have a really easy job just sort of taking them apart. Another effect is honey, where you can hit an enemy and stick them to the ground with honey so they can't move on their next turn. There's a mechanic called Vamp, which I never actually got to work, but I think drains their health in order to make your next attack stronger. There's a lot of different mechanics like that are baked into the different weapons that you can find and purchase for the different characters in the game. And so I was surprised that there was this much level of sort of specialization of what you can do with your team. It is not it didn't seem like an especially shallow experience at all. Another thing that really stood out is there's two sort of components to the game. The sort of exploration phase, where you and your party run around and look around the world and can find treasure, like new weapon upgrades, and sort of solve what were, in my demo, fairly rudimentary puzzles. I never played anything that I was like, oh, that was especially satisfying that I solved that. But while you're doing the exploration phase, you will just come across the battles on the map and it'll switch to the turn-based thing. And what really stood out about that is how sort of condensed the maps are. It's not like XCOM where you're having this big fight on a whole city street. Pretty much all of the enemies and your heroes can get from one side of the map to the other, which means that there's very, very few safe spaces. You got to constantly be sort of condensing your fire and concentrating your fire on one enemy to sort of make safe spaces on the map where you can hide out. If you sort of divide and conquer, they will be able to counterattack you and you're gonna get sort of torn up. In this one demo session, the final boss I fought, which was sort of a rabid take on a piranha plant, nearly killed me because I was trying to separate and take out all the enemies in one turn with my whole team, and because of that, I sort of spread myself too thin on this really small map, and then could be completely taken out by their counterattacks. So in that way, it's a lot more sort of a short form experience than XCOM is. A lot of the battles I was through in 1 or 2 minutes. Except for that boss battle, which took a while because I screwed it up in a major way. So it definitely, it doesn't look like XCOM, but it behaves a lot like XCOM, but the pacing of it's much more different, which I think matches sort of the tone of the game, which is, as silly and goofy as you would expect from a Rabbids game, if you do expect anything from a Rabbids game. I'm not a big Rabbids person. I'm just gonna put that out there. If I can make a team that's just Mushroom Kingdomites, I'm gonna jump for that as soon as I can. I just don't get it. They're like farting all the time. Are they rabbits or not? Like, what's the story? Are they minions? How do they relate to minions? Are they cousins to minions? It's really confusing to me. Anyway, I enjoyed what I played of the game. I don't know how it will stand up, you know, if I played it for like a couple hours in a row. Like, I don't know if it's XCOM, you can, I feel like, really sink your teeth into and play a couple of like half-hour-long battles and just get really immersed in the world. I feel like I need to spend a little bit more time with Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle in order to know if it's gonna be like as sticky as that, because it's definitely a different experience. But I was, again, pretty surprised by the strategic depth and the sort of customization depth that I saw even in this really short demo. So that was Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Stay tuned for more coverage here at E3 2017. We got a lot of show left to cover, and you can find it all here on our YouTube channel.